I think he's here in pair, and
Yeah.
David and Ryan.
Right.
Okay.
So they're all closest to me.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's a bit too fast from me.
Abbey House.
Happy Lord.
Abbey Lodge, even. You know where you live. I'm just the extra person who's just turned up today and doesn't know where she is, Abbey Lodge. So thank you to Fiona, your lovely Stonewater manager, for hosting today. My name is Lorraine Hurst and I'm from Cooking Good.
From where?
Hence the Cooking Good.
Oh.
Okay, and hence the apron. Okay, we like cooking and we like cooking good food. We like to feel good and eat good food and cook with fresh ingredients, and that's what we're doing today. So if that's what you want to do, then you're in the right place. So we've got Norfolk House online. They're one of the other Stonewater settings. So hello Norfolk House, and we're just recording it. It's pointed at me at the moment. I might turn it round when you're doing some activities as well. We're a community cooking project based in Northamptonshire and wider, and we're part of the Circles of Support for Stonewater. Have you heard of Circles of Support? No. So the Longleaf Foundation, who support, okay, so the Longleaf Foundation do various things to support the well-being and all sorts of types of projects for the Stonewater Housing Association. And Longleaf Foundation are working with us. We are like a charity. We're a community interest company, and they have asked us to work with the residents of Stonewater, and we're working very closely with the wellbeing team. So do you know Janice Lewis or any of those names? I'm trying to think who your local person is.
Ours is Fran.
Brad
and Tracy McConnell.
Yes, Brad and Tracy. So part of the team who support you in your well-being. So why am I here? I don't know. I do know. Yeah, I do know. I am a trained nutritionist, and I've got a background in public services. So as a nutritionist, the reason I started...
I thought you said
musicianist. Well, I think we make music with food, hopefully.
Okay, that sounds better.
Music with food. I think we should have a little bit of music in the background, make it more fun, shouldn't we? Maybe one day we will. Now, what we do is we help people to cook simple, nutritious meals on a budget. And the reason I became interested in nutrition, so that you understand where I'm coming from, is because 6 years ago I was diagnosed with a rare form of arthritis, and I thought, what can I do to support my arthritis? And I decided to look down the food and nutrition route, and it worked for me. So then I trained as a nutritionist. As often happens with nutritionists, they start thinking about nutrition because of their own health. Hello, good morning. And so thank you very much. It's a great group here today, and welcome to Happy New Year. I think we're still saying, aren't we? And again, hello to Happy New Year. Still say it, we're still in January, and we're waving to Norfolk House till here. Can I turn the camera around so they can see you just for a second? They're just you're on Zoom basically with Norfolk House who haven't got their camera on. So if you say hello, hello. 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 There you go. You're all you can see that I'm not just talking to a blank room. You can see that there really is people here. So welcome. Hello. You want to join us? Would this man like to join, or is he going outside? Would you like to join us?
Yeah,
oh, lovely. Thank you for your help over there. So today, the recipe that I've given away, may I just grab yours for the moment? Thank you. Thank you. The recipe for today is sweet and sour chicken. I did send out this beforehand. If anybody is watching online and wants to, I don't think there is more. I think just Norfolk House are on today. Anybody wants to actually cook along with this? Has anybody made a stir fry before?
Yes.
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 Yes. Lovely. Great. And what kind of stir fries have you made?
Just basic.
Just a basic, like with soy sauce, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ready. Oh, I reckon it was all chopped up and
So you bought the bag of chopped veg.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very interesting point. I think it's a very good thing to do when you're struggling to chop, or you're cooking for yourself, or you haven't got a lot of energy and can't stand up in the kitchen or something like that. I think it's worth doing. It's worth saying that the whole vegetables, why might they be better for us? Why might they be better for us?
They're not processed.
Because they're not processed, that's right. They're keeping all the nutrients in there, all the vitamins and the minerals and the phytonutrients.
Do you know when you say bag of chopped vegetables?
Yeah.
How does chopping a vegetable into smaller pieces of the same thing lose its nutrition?
Because you've changed it. And what happens is that the more surface area it's got, exposure to light and air and water, oxidation. Absolutely. You know your science then. Deterioration, exactly. So that's what happens to it. And even when you take vegetables home and put them in the fridge, that happens. They lose their nutrients.
You told you not to put cucumbers in the fridge now.
Yeah, I can understand that. I still put cucumbers in the fridge, but yeah. The other thing I do you do this? Do any of you do this? Do you ever put vegetables in water to give them extra life? So like your celery, put it in some water. So when your celery starts to go a bit like that, pop it in some water. And same with lettuce. Now I've started doing that with carrots, beetroot, and a few other, and honestly, it works a treat. So often it's a lack of.
Rehydrate them.
It rehydrates them.
Plump back up.
Exactly.
I put potatoes in the fridge
Yeah.
because it stops them sprouting.
Yes, it does. There's something about the kind of starch potatoes have in them. I'll come back to that with you in a minute. I want to check my science on it, because I think there's something about having them out of the fridge that makes them a more resistant starch, which is better for our digestion. But come back to that. Come back to that, because I always have to check myself if I'm not 100% sure.
Starch content.
It's starch, yes, yeah. Starch, and how it's affected by temperature. And yeah, so we'll come back to that. So today we've got a sweet and sour chicken. So not to get too let's get cooking. Not to get too deep into lots and lots of talking, but me included. So what we've got is a set of ingredients on the table that we just need to chop, ideally into thin strips. Yeah, so whether it's the onion, the mushroom, or the peppers that you've got on your table. You've got peppers like this, you've got some big red onions, and you've got some mushrooms, and you've got some of these. You might want to cut these into little like wheels. There's no onion in there. No, I can get you an onion.
We've got 2 onions in here.
Yeah, you can share an onion if they want an onion. What we are is making 2 big pots, so it doesn't matter if you haven't got all the ingredients on your table. They're all getting mixed in. Yeah, so please, everyone, help each other by. I'll take this around the tables, the hand sanitizer, if you're willing to use it, because you don't have to get up and go to the. Yeah, would you mind passing that? Do you mind using that and passing that? That'd be great. So then everyone feels a bit more comfortable with hygiene. Let's wash my hands. So, and I've got some spring onion here. Does anybody want spring onion? Yeah. Got cup there. Anybody else want to do a spring onion? Yeah, I'll keep this one here. So I'll do some chopping up here. And we're going to put it all together. So you've got you've got the recipe on your table. So are there any questions before we start making this? I've got my very slow 2-ring hob here. So what I need to do is go and start the water and the pans off. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat a tiny bit of oil so that we can start frying the vegetables in it. And I've got the chicken over here. So perhaps if there's one other person who wants to do cutting up chicken, because it's going to be quite tough, then we can do that. But we'll probably stick with only a couple of people handling the meat part, if that's okay. But everybody like chicken? Yeah. There was somebody who didn't like sweet and sour. Is that right? You don't like sweet and sour as such? Because we can do a sweet and sour one, and we can do one that has just the garlic and soy sauce in it, which is like a very basic stir fry. So if you were ever going to make a stir fry of any kind, this is why we like this dish, because one, it's in a pan and it's quick, so therefore it's cheaper on the electricity, isn't it? So that's the whole point. The cost of living keeps the cost down. Might be different if you live in a, an establishment where those costs are part of a package. But you know, for a lot of people at the moment, they're worried about the cost of the electricity, aren't they? So that keeps it really close. And it's healthy for you because you're not cooking something for too long, and then again taking all the vitamins and nutrients out of it. But it needs to be cooked enough to eat it.
Do you show us how to cook rice properly? Fried
Right.
rice?
Now, I could do, but what I've done, I'm hearing the ladies over there who are on my wavelength.
The man's always a greasy mess.
Even nutritionists have shortcuts, okay? Now, the reason I brought this was because you never know how long things are going to take. This 2-ring hob can be slow, and I might need 2 for the two lots of chicken. So yeah, these are the 3-minute ones from Aldi. So okay, they're not the cheapest. Normal rice would be the cheapest. We can talk about how to cook normal rice if you want to. These are whole grain. Why have I picked whole grain?
Better for you.
Better for you. Why is it better for you?
More nutritious.
More nutritious. Why is it more nutritious? Do you know what's in it?
It's the whole grain.
It's the whole grain. It's the fibre. It's the whole grain. Instead of taking it away, which they have done with white rice, they've left it in. It's the whole grain, and that's much better for you. Then you know how many grams of fibre an average adult needs per day. At a guess.
250 grams?
6? No, much more than 6. 50. A little bit less than 50. 32. Okay.
That's probably down 32 grams.
It's a good point though. So what does fibre do for us?
Energy.
You can get some energy because it helps your digestive system. So then it helps you to get that energy from your food. Absolutely. So whole grains, if we can, we want to be going for. Now, the groups at Norfolk House, who very kindly zoom into this nearly every week, will have heard me say this so many times, but I'll just mention the healthy eating plate before we get chopping, because I've got all your attention, and everyone will start talking when we get chatting on the cutting on the tables. But this is a healthy plate, and the reason I bring that in with the fibre is because we have a portion of our plate. These are from B&M, by the way, £2.50. So you've seen them, yeah. And they don't always have them in. So if you are, it's a slightly big plate if you're an older person and you're not still running around and very active all day. So it's you might want a slightly smaller plate, but the proportions are really useful here. It doesn't mention fats, but it's got the carbs, the protein, and your vegetables. So your carbs here, your carbohydrates, we want some whole grain carbohydrates and lots of fibre in our vegetables, which gives us all that. Our good bacteria in our gut need fibre to feed on. So to have a healthy gut, which is going to make our immune system work better, and the rest of our bodies, this is now science. This is not, woo-woo like it was a few years ago. Now we're actually talking like, people drink Actimel in the morning. That is to support your gut bacteria in your tummy, which are very important in your immune system and also in all sorts of every single thing in the body. So if we have that fibre, the good bacteria that we want to promote in our gut have got that to feed on. Does that make sense? So those are our carbohydrates, quarter of our plate there, and there are lots of different types of carbohydrates. But if we go for the whole grains, which are unrefined carbohydrates, that's better. What would we think of as refined carbohydrates that we don't want to have less of?
White bread.
White bread, yes. And white rice. And cakes and bleached and donuts and regular pasta. So what would be unrefined carbohydrates that we want? Wholemeal bread, whole grain rice. Anything else? Potatoes are not a bad form of carbohydrate. They have some resistant starch in them. A sweet potato is also a nice alternative to a regular potato. If you find that you have any problems with regular potatoes, sweet potatoes, and they're very readily available now and not necessarily massively more expensive or difficult. They're quicker to cook as well. Quicker if you're boiling them or even if you're roasting them. Do you like sweet potatoes, anybody?
Yes.
People like sweet potatoes. Right, so we know about sweet potatoes. But the potatoes do come into that category. So if you're going for whole grain pasta, would be better. Then you've got this lots of different vegetables, nearly half your plate of lots of different types of vegetables, if you can. And that's where a stir fry works really well, because you just put lots of different veg in and you sort of don't really notice them. You're not going like, ooh, there's a load of broccoli there. You know, you're just eating it, aren't you? Because it's all one thing. And then I like broccoli, but you know, some people don't. And then you've got your protein. So what's our protein in our dish today? Our chicken, absolutely. So you've got chicken, you've got other types of meat, pork, and beef. Some people want to reduce red meat. A lot of British Heart Foundation suggest cut out red meat, or you know, knock it out completely if you can. So there are other types of protein like fish.
If you knock it out completely, aren't they suggesting? Why do you replace it then?
You can replace it with lentils and beans, and seeds and nuts and all those other types of plant-based protein. Now I eat meat. I'm cooking a chicken with you today, but there is this idea that, one, it's not sustainable to eat meat every day. We're not going to be able to have, you know, it's going up in price as well. Beans and lentils and things like that are cheaper, so you can sometimes half and half it. Now I did bring some cashew nuts with me today. Does anybody have any allergies? Any nut allergies? Any allergies whatsoever? Anything that they have an intolerance to? Anything they don't like apart from stir fry, sweet and sour stir fry? Anything else that you don't like? Okay, that's good. So maybe we can put some cashews in our dish. So the cashews are going to bulk it out, give it a nice flavour, and also give us some more protein. Yeah. So you could even make a stir fry just with the cashew nuts. Does that make sense? If you wanted to. Okay. So we've got eggs. Eggs are a fantastic source of protein. So and you know, we should never worry about eggs, because we had there was a period of time where everyone was telling us not to eat eggs, wasn't there? Now, so shall we get chopping and starting to make our dish, and then when we're on the cooking part of it, we'll have another chat then. So you need some knives. Is everybody safe with a knife? Is it debatable? I can give you a plastic one if anyone needs a plastic one. Is everyone okay with a knife? Right, so we're going to share some knives out. Feel free to do some chopping. Literally slices. If anybody needs any help and advice, anybody needs any advice on, I've only got so many knives. Are you going to chop? You can. I've only got so many.
I'm going to shoot off for these two.
I need a half like of these two. Yeah.
This looks very much like a set over. I don't have to find it.
I think one will be smart.
One strips thing. I've got you to eat with pepper. It's so good. Chef showed me.
Right,
Show you this technique. Is everybody, can everyone see this? Right? So if you chop the pepper, can you see this? Sorry, my laptop's in the way, isn't it? So if you hold it in the middle,
Yeah.
and chop it like that on your board,
Yeah.
the middle just comes out on its own.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic. So look, I'll show you. I can come over and show you.
Yeah, do that.
I'll turn this laptop round.
It's not a lovely.
So like that.
Where do you get there?
You done it like that,
Huh?
like that. And then that makes it. So your green bowl, your green overs. You've got it? That's it.
That's a rubbish.
That's the rubbish. Yeah, that one is. Sorry, you haven't got a green one. That's
Sorry, I
lovely.
don't think I was listening. But I'm
Sorry?
doing this.
That's fine.
So okay.
Yes, absolutely fine. So I'm going to turn this around. Turn this around so you can see. What's that? Yeah, they're good knives. Tesco. Tesco, yeah, absolutely, Tesco, yes. Yeah, you've got a big bit there we can use.
Thank you.
I'm from that generation like you of waste not, want not. So all you need to do is take the middle bits out. Is everyone used to eating peppers and chopping peppers? Does anybody need any help?
Hey, that's what you're doing. Don't want any fingers in there. No, I'm shooting what you use.
Right, so we,
Be careful when you talk to somebody with an iron.
Yeah, well, that's right, exactly, yeah. What else am I doing? The next.
I managed not to bring a rubbish bag with me.
Yeah, that's.
How's everybody getting on? Oh, bless you. I'm gonna get those going.
It said, I'm alive. If you walk by it, it
Don't you do much good? They do not. What did you use?
And you'll hear it shortly.
Okay. I don't know. I actually.
Well, I find it's too much. I just can't stand that. It's too painful. Standing up is painful. Not good for you, but it is for me.
Let's get that one going and then. We're going to talk about hydration actually, so I don't know if there's any of the ladies that could make a cup of tea. So what do you need? A knife? Yeah. I've just been using it on that. Right. So.
I've never seen these two vehicles sitting there. Dashing around.
They want to do that, he's very good.
I started to sweat all that effort.
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
At first, it's my time.
All this way is that medical, you know.
The problem.
But you do
Right, so everybody getting on okay? That's it. Lovely slices of pepper. Yes, we've got some waste. That's it. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, some people will use lots of leftover vegetables to make soup, won't they? You know, you could actually boil those up.
Into a pot and.
You like it?
Living down there, I would be able to live with that spot on the.
Yeah.
And then you seem to be got left room there.
Yeah.
Never empty.
People don't do it, do they? So much. No, I would keep them in like long thin strips. Long thin strips. If you can, if you can. That's it. Mind your fingers, everybody. I've got a first aid kit if need be.
The distance.
So you can put your finished. You can put your finished. Yeah. Just go. I don't know. Just a sharp knife. And usually just the thing to do is you have to ask for them. You know, you chop in there, ready to cook it. There you go. So thank you. I'm getting the water going.
So long thin bit. Long thin strips. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, I can have it leave it by it.
I've got a couple of pans.
It's a weird, you know.
That's coming up.
So it looks like a lot of ingredients in this recipe, but it's actually fairly easy, and you can mix and match depending on what you've got. Yeah. Yeah. What we tend to do in Cooking Good is use kind of a range of basic ones that we use, that we sort of say, oh, use that again. So like your warm spices like cumin, it might be in something like a chicken tray bake or some, something like that. But we also use it in a veg chili. We also use it in a soup. So it's that sort of thing. And if you know your spices, you know what you can just put into things. So tell me what you've got in your cupboard then, that you might, if you can think of any.
I've got time.
I've got a lot of food.
You don't cook.
Sugar point. It's leaking.
I've got loads of
Yeah.
cumin,
Yeah, lovely. Pop it in. Yeah, oregano, yeah. Well, the Italians do call it oregano. Oregano. What you said. Oregano. That's it.
Eat the vegetables
Yeah.
until
So while you're chopping, I'll start to fry off the. In the recipe, it talks about doing them separately,
So there's no problem with the vegetables.
and it talks about making the sauce. So there's a sort of a sauce to make with sweet and sour. So this is the reason I showed it was because after Christmas, I don't know about you, but everyone's trying to come off all the sweet stuff. You know, all the chocolates you had, and maybe more cake, and still got them. You know, you're still eating them, aren't you? All January. So you still got a sort of that sweet tooth. I have, and it's sort of that idea that we need to. Work our way off these things. So I'm going to use a little bowl to make this sauce in. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lovely. Thank you. Now, people had a drink today. We're going to talk about hydration later. You had a drink. Everyone had a drink. Had some coffee. Just one drink so far today. Yeah. So I was going to talk about hydration. How many drinks do you think you need per day for a healthy? 8, yeah. At least. 8 glasses. 8 glasses. Yeah, 2 litres. 1.5.
I used to do 3 litres in a bottle at a time.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was
back in the day.
I was in a terrible time.
I'll do that.
On that.
True. So,
Okay.
has anyone made this kind of sweet and sour sauce before? So it's really basic ingredients. Sorry. What? Sorry, just a second. So just to show you the sauce, it's 2 for one portion. We're doing more than 1 portion, so I'll make more. It's 2 tablespoons of corn flour, and then some grated ginger, soy sauce, vinegar, and it says ketchup, but I'm using tomato paste. Oh, there's another onion if anyone wants to chop an onion. Yep. So that's the sauce. So I'm just going to put that together with a little bit of liquid from the pineapple, so it's sweet, but it's still fresh pineapple.
What type of vinegar do you use? The white wine. The white wine.
I'll show you the ingredients for the sauce.
Well, there's getting more paper.
So it's
Do you want them cut in
trying to
small?
produce soy sauce, vinegar, ketchup, chili flakes. So, and the only other thing we've got is chili flakes. So olive oil, chili flakes, So olive oil goes is for the frying. The white wine vinegar, the chili flakes, the sorry, I arrived late, so I haven't got everything out. Pineapple juice
What's that?
and ginger.
Fair enough.
So it's pineapple that's going in the sweet and sour. So the vinegar is sour, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
pineapple is sweet.
Yeah.
And then we've got our tomato paste for that
yes.
sweetness and tanginess. What we want is sweet and sour is sweet and sour, isn't it? That's what it is. And then soy sauce, so that gives it that sort of Chinesey flavour. Plus don't you like soy sauce? I saw somebody go, ooh, I thought you meant, I thought you go, oh no, no soy sauce.
Intended for me.
Brilliant. And then we've got our soy sauce. That's it. We've got our soy sauce here. So I'm just going to put that sauce together. I'm going to put the camera back on me so people can see that sauce being made. Thank you. There we go. And anybody else can you see over that laptop? Everyone. So does anybody want to chop up this pepper that I've only half chopped up? Does anyone like to chop it up? Yeah.
That's all right.
So the one I'm not going to do is small.
14 inches.
So I've got two pans. You can do this with one pan. If you want to. Yeah.
That's a shit. Wow.
So if you want to come and get some of the veg going, you're welcome to bring it up in, put it into these two pans, and I'll get them going. So what I'm going to show you is the sauce. That's brilliant. No, it's fine. We'll get some onion in. Yeah. We'll get those going. There. And I'm going to just make this sauce.
Oh, no. What's the thing?
Lovely. Get some going. I need a lot of rolls. That's lovely. Yeah, and you've got onion in there anyway, haven't you? I think I'm going to need this bowl. It's only had the veg in, hasn't it? Right. I'm going to make the pineapple sauce. So I'm going to use, I'm doubling up 40. I would normally use 2 teaspoons of this. This is corn flour. So I'm using a big spoon because I haven't got a little one. 1, 2, 3, 4. More, good luck. Whoops. Roll goes over. And then and I'm gonna normally mix it with cold water. I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of this pineapple juice. Yeah. So these are all things you would have in your kitchen. You might have in your kitchen, or you could buy from a local supermarket.
Good idea.
So I'm just mixing.
Can you use the juice if you've got pineapple juice?
You've got yes, you can. Yes, you can. So you can either have these pineapple, which is slices, because I couldn't get the pieces because they didn't have any.
Okay.
So we're going to mix that till a smooth paste. We've got a bit of a paste going here, and then now, anyone want to bring up some veggies? If you've got your veggies chopped, you want to bring them up, put them in a hot pan. Careful with that one, guys. Careful with this. Thank you. Got some helpers here, and we do that, and then we're going to add. Be adding to this. We're going to add. Yes. Juice, soy sauce, vinegar, and ketchup and chili flakes.
Where's the
Soy sauce.
Where's what?
Soy sauce.
onion?
Lovely. Do you want to get the
Onion.
going in the
I
pan?
do.
What?
Oh, no, no.
She took all the onion.
Knows you've got no comment, but it's not supposed to.
Can we have some of it? It's all going in there anyway.
So we just pop them in one of these pans. We pop it in that one.
What's the point?
then look,
I can't see
I think
it.
when it's in your belly, it will. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Round me top. Yeah.
Enjoy it,
Yeah, it's all right. Get that stir.
Did you want to?
Yes, but I don't think that's visible.
So right, we've got vegetables frying, and I'm just going to show you a bit more to make this this stove here.
You like you do.
Difficult here, I don't want to. Right, so it has soy sauce in it. Could we just be quiet?
Yeah.
Everyone's having a good old chat here. So we need some 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm just using the
Lady's trying to talk to us.
2, 3, 4. Now we would normally use 2, right? That's the soy sauce in there. And this is our chili, our chilies, and that's half a teaspoon of dried chili. So I'm going to put,
Gotta be
I'm going to
careful,
put
eh?
like a whole spoon in. There.
Oh,
Oh, everyone's going, ooh. That's chili. And then we are going to cook it. And then our vinegar. So that's 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. Do you know the lids are a
What's the difference
tablespoon?
between white wine vinegar and ordinary vinegar?
Well, it's just a little bit, if you smell it, it's just it's made as if it's white, you know, a white wine.
Right.
You know, the way it's made,
Yes.
it's more of a wine than a vinegar. I don't know exactly, to be honest.
But it's a different taste
But
altogether.
it's just, no, it tastes vinegary, but not quite as
Big.
brewed. It's not quite as not like the kind you have with your chips.
No,
This is more like the kind you have when you're in France
that's real,
on holiday.
real brewed vinegar. I still be getting chip chops and not vinegar.
Right, that's not brewed.
Number
No. So now we've got our sort of just our basic mixture. If anybody wants to sniff that, you can. It's sort of pineapple-y. Pineapple-y.
Oh,
Thank you.
Don't drink it, Ryan.
So that's it, yeah. But you wanted to see what that, just have a sniff of that one. It's not any different to your normal vinegar that you probably doesn't.
That's
Right.
Sweet, so.
Put that on the ready,
Sweet.
and then so we're literally cooking up. You can cook your onion off first if you want to. You can cook the onion first if you want to. I'm going to turn these up. You don't have to. I don't bother. It goes in. Bit of a Jamie Oliver. Chuck it all in the pan.
No,
Put it all together.
maybe we all-
And that's it. He is good. He is good. We've got a paste in here.
Find the malt vinegar.
Yeah, ketchup. So it mentions ketchup, but I'm using tomato puree. And I'm using, excuse me, and I'm using tomato puree because it's not ketchup. Why might I use tomato puree instead of ketchup? Because it's got no sugar in, absolutely. I'll just double check that it's got no sugar in, because you have to often check things, but no, it doesn't.
Why do you not want sugar in it?
Because sugar is inflammatory and it spikes our blood sugars. And what happens when our blood sugars are spiked? We get insulin is triggered. And if we keep doing that, keep spiking our sugars and getting our insulin all agitated and we become insulin resistant. And if we become insulin resistant, what does that? Diabetes. Yeah, and we've got children who have become diabetic now, type 2, and that's not
Do
a
you not
coincidence.
think this all down to processing of food?
There's processing of food, and because we add sugar, so we take away the goodness that makes things harder for us to digest and takes us longer to digest and doesn't spike our blood sugar in the same way, and that makes it more likely to give us diabetes. But if you want to sort of watch that in your diet, then reduce sugar, reduce refined sugar. You know, sugars that are in fruits and things like that, you know, they're okay because they've got other nutrients. Sucrose,
Yeah.
that is a form of sugar. Anything that's got an OS in the name of it is sugar. OSE on the end, it's sugar. You know, and they're hidden. This is the point with sugars. You're having all the lessons here today, by the way. They're all different, these ones. But sugar, how much sugar should an adult have in a day in teaspoons, do you think? It's 6, you're right, 6. Close.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is that, you know, if you had a breakfast of a yogurt that's got sugar in it, some orange juice, some toast with jam, and some sugar in your tea or coffee, you've probably already gone over.
You've hit your limit.
Yeah, that's your breakfast, okay? Not even your mid-morning chocolate or your other coffees during the day with your sugar, or your cake you have with something, or your ready meal that's got a lot of sugar in it. Baked beans have got sugar in them, unless they say no sugar. So it's just to be mindful, it's not to be a bore, because this is going to be, I hope you're going to like the flavour of this, and you're going to go, I wouldn't have known it wasn't one of those processed ones with the sugar in it. I hope, because we all like food. We want it to taste good, don't we?
I would hope it tastes better than you've just described.
Well, yes.
It's got to taste better than processed food.
It's got to, hasn't it? I mean, it's smelling good already over here. So I'm going to, once some of these veg have cooked, I'm going to get the chicken cooking. And then we'll start, then we're nearly there with it. I've also brought noodles. So there's some noodles in the rice. So you have a choice of noodles or rice. That's what I boiled the water for, is for some noodles. Do people like noodles?
Yeah, I like noodles.
Yeah. Now they are really like a pasta. But they do have, they're made with wheat. But they do have some eggs with them. Oh dear. I'll need to wash that. Oh, thank you. That's really kind. Thank you very much. I've got a wonderful helper here. It just spontaneously fell out the pan, didn't it? Right. So I'm only reason I'm doing the veg first and not putting the chicken in and then the veg, because that is easier, is because there's just so much of the veg.
Yeah.
I need to make sure this is cooked, and then I need to make sure the chicken is cooked, and then combine them. So you know that though, don't you? Those people who cook. Now, the other people who have stopped cooking, who stopped cooking? Yeah.
I would say stopped and never started since I moved.
Right. To be fair,
I
you've
used
never
to cook
stopped.
before I moved in here.
Yeah.
And not
I mean,
since.
I mean, what I would say, sorry, I haven't put this in there yet,
Thank you.
putting the tomatoes in, is what we're saying here is hopefully this food will taste better, and that it is quite easy to cook once you get used to it.
I've got the right thing.
And that if you make something like this, you can freeze it. So we've got some containers here, and I'm going to let you, if there's enough left, to take a bit away as well as try it today. And you can put that in the freezer with your noodles or your rice. Cool the rice down or the noodles quite quickly. Get it in the freezer as soon as you can. But you could make. You can. You just have to cool it as quickly as possible and get it in the fridge or get it in the freezer as quickly as possible. If you have got any cool packs to put under your pan or your tub to cool it down quickly, it's cooling it down quickly and warming it up quickly that's important. So when you get it out of the freezer, if you've got microwaves,
Yeah.
you know, get it in the microwave and get it. Thank you for your help. And get it cooking. So let's just see what's going on with our sauce here. We've got a sort of a mixture here of things, and we've got some pineapple. Does anybody want to chop the pineapple for me? It's going to be a bit messy. Anybody want to chop it? Yeah. Thank you. So you've got a spare bowl there. You could use these pan. Yeah, I've got to see what I've done. Actually, that was the other edging that we were using. So there we are. Thank you. Mind your fingers on that.
Yeah.
So
You want one?
I've also got this ginger and the garlic. I don't want to forget about that.
Give it to me, I'll eat.
Want to pop that in.
Give
Does anybody
it
want
to me,
to
I'll
some
eat.
ginger? Anybody want to grate the ginger for me? Ginger grater. Want me to do it? Oh, we've got a lovely volunteer.
Oh, this.
There we are. Yes, please. Right, great. Someone's volunteered up here. That's lovely. Yeah, we can put that in at the end actually. If you want to put it into the bowl first, we'll put it in at the end because the pineapple's sort of cut. You know, it's fresh and it's soft. It's not cooked, but just be careful with the pineapple. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, we don't want to.
No, no, no.
So put them in that one there. That will be in those. And the ginger, I'll give you a little bowl for ginger. Fantastic. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, everybody. So we've now got this mixture of tomato puree, vinegar, chili, corn flour, and the pineapple juice. So like a bit of a sauce now. Can you see that? It's actually looking a good colour, I think. Okay. And we're now, thank you for washing that. We've got our veg. I think one lot of veg are a bit more cooked than the other. So I can probably transfer those to a bowl. Today, we need to test on my first outing to the Stonewater group. Colleague went to a different setting last week. Where was she? Coventry. Also Stonewater. Yes, yes. We've got we've a few. So I'm just going to put that in. Yeah. Are you South African? British. Wow. Because you have wonderful food in parts of the world, don't you? You have wonderful food in that part of the world. Yeah. So we've cooked some of our eggs. It doesn't take long. Just to fry them off, does it? Not too long. I'm going
Right, can you pass me that knife?
leave that one on trying to cook, and then I'm going to put some more oil in this, and then I'm going to put chicken in there. I'm going to do the chicken in there, and then put it all together. It's a bit catering on a mass scale here because there's so many people here today, which is wonderful. So I've got my olive oil, which I'm going to put into the pan. And I'm going to cut up my chicken. I found the easiest way to deal with chicken. Someone's brandishing a knife over there. The easiest way I find to cook chicken is use this scissor. Now, yeah, does want to come and chop some chicken? The other bit of this was I've got chicken thighs. It mentions chicken breast, but I've got chicken thighs because they are they're cheaper, aren't they? For you know, the weight of it. So that's what I've got today. We're going to have to cook it all because of hygiene anyway. But if anybody wants to do any, you're welcome. So I've now got a hot pan with a little bit of oil in it. Has anyone tried cooking without oil? Has anyone tried cooking without oil? So yeah. So the Vietnamese, they just cook without oil. I'm going to get my hands really messy with chicken and then I'll go and wash them. Right? But I just take off some of the fatty bits because you're cooking it quite quick.
So there's a side piece.
Chicken thighs, some proper kitchen scissors, so they're quite sharp. And I'm left-handed, so if you think I look awkward, that's fine.
You don't to me?
Oh, you're left-handed?
Yeah.
Ah. Oh well.
In some ways, it's better. I remember that.
You do. Yeah, you do.
I use scissors with my right hand.
You use scissors with your right hand, do you? Wow. Yeah, I've not come across that before.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unusual.
I have to cook that with my right. I can use a right-handed pair of scissors.
Yeah.
With my left hand.
Yeah.
Cutting backwards, walk with a blade facing towards me. And I can cut in reverse.
You baffled me there. The other reason I think it's easier to use scissors personally, and I've not got my left-handed kitchen scissors with me, so these hurt me, but it's because it just stops you having to use a chopping board, isn't it? You don't have to use a chopping board.
Yeah.
So thank you for all your chopping,
Of course,
everybody.
yes, yeah.
Have you got any left-handed scissors?
At home, yes.
I had to pay for some, and
Yeah.
somebody was so fascinated by them, they stole them.
Really?
And the person that stole them was right-handed. How ridiculous is that? Because they've never seen a pair of left-handed scissors, like you have to look for it.
Well, it took me to the grand old age of 50 to get the left-handed scissors, but they're still in the drawer at home.
I got some, like I said, I got stolen, and then I just reverted to.
Yeah.
I taught myself to use my right hand.
Yeah. To
I'm
cook. I can't
left-handed,
cook.
but I would use that right hand.
I
Couldn't
can
cook.
write in England. I'm more. I think if you're left-handed, you're more likely to be on the desk.
Is anybody else left-handed? How many people in the room? Just two of
me
us.
and you.
Just two of us.
And he's a
Pardon?
twin, but I'm also a
Well, it's a
twin,
bit
but I've got
burning.
a
Is
twin
this the
brother.
chicken? Yeah.
My brother is right-handed.
Hey?
My brother is right-handed.
Peppers are burning. Okay. Does anybody want to come and give us a hand here?
Victoria, Vicky. Stirring.
Would somebody like to stir the peppers?
You
Because I'm
volunteered, get
probably
one stir.
this one.
Running it right.
I've got chicken all over my hands. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Yeah. Yeah, no,
Is it oil in this one?
Well, yeah.
Sorry?
Is it oil in this one?
a little bit, just a little bit, yes. But the Vietnamese cook without it. They just put a bit of water.
I would like to be a vegetarian.
You'd like to be.
But I try.
Yeah.
Try.
So you can make this without chicken. You can make it with just the cashew nuts and corn. You make it with corn with nuts. What else? You make it, just with the vegetables. You know, some people eat it just with the vegetables. You know,
No
but
soy. Do you know every time says the word soy, it reminds me of
the main thing is to get your B12 or something. To get B12.
That's right. Oh, cheese and eggs.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing is to get your B12 from your other animal proteins, all from fortified. You know, it's the vegans that struggle a bit more with being because they're very serious about things. I mean, we eat a lot of chicken in this country, don't we? I mean, you can make this with turkey, leftover turkey, when you're bored of turkey sandwiches, can't you? I think I'm going to get much more chicken. Yeah, I could smell the peppers. You could smell them, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's only when you said it, so I was concentrating on. Very nice. Thank you. I've got my commie chef here. If anybody else wants to help, we'll just be on camera with Norfolk House. There's only Norfolk House at night. That's it. So we're just gonna. This would take a lot less time to cook.
Americans.
We better get that. Is that turn it up a little bit, shall I?
And I've got one like this or similar. It's
Yeah.
much faster.
It's faster, is
Yes,
it?
because it's so much
Yeah.
bigger.
I think I might refrain from putting all the chicken in. If anybody wants to take some of this chicken, because we're just not going to get it cooking, so that not enough room in the pans. But if anybody wants to take any chicken, just gonna put that. Oh, right. I'm gonna wash my hands and then come back to this. Thank you so much for your help. We need to just.
I'll pop up and down.
Pardon?
I'll pop up. And
Thank you.
What's
That
the
is
matter?
very kind. So let's get that.
I'm tired.
You stuck your nose in and volunteered, John.
Oh, managed to break my own implement.
This goes.
So,
Oh dear.
let's get one of these.
I'm so impressed with
Can't
this
be
now.
No, exactly. Right, I'm gonna get that cooking. Right, just gonna go wash my mitts. Back in a sec.
That's gonna be a lot, it's a lot better.
And these noodles.
The main thing about cooking something like this is getting the ingredients.
Get it all in it. No, you won't do that. Shake it.
Sometimes it's not good by it, all the ingredients are all meal.
I want to know how much this is that. I want to know how much that for 4 people.
Yeah.
It's not-
Oh, you could buy a quarter.
You've got your cheese in.
Yeah, but, you know.
I mean, the spices, like that's 3, 4 or half, and enough for 4 or 1.
If anybody needs to get
But
a
I
glass of
wouldn't
water
use it in
too,
a
'cause,
pineapple, that'd be 2.
you know, sort of almost need a drink every hour for a hydration.
What's your view on taking liquid?
And the more you talk, the more you need to drink.
What's your view on taking liquid in the form of tea?
Well, I was just going to come to that. Obviously, any drink is going to hydrate you because it's got H2O in it. But tea is a diuretic, and coffee as well. You know, it makes you need to
Okay.
eliminate that water. So that's the only thing I would say about tea. I mean,
And don't
you know,
forget your
it's
pineapple.
healthy for you, and your pineapple. Thank you so much. Are you coming back?
Yeah,
All
I
good.
thought it was good because of antioxidants.
Yes. So
Saying
tea has got some really good properties in it.
I've had to shut down. I was on 30 a day.
30 cups of tea. How do you fit in 30 cups of tea a day?
Because the kettle's on.
Ah, that's amazing.
In fact, sometimes the kettle's on before I finish.
Thank you so much.
And the doctor said it's too much, so I've cut down to about. I went down to about 10, and that's creeping back up again. But I tell myself if I'm somewhere between 10 and 15, I think.
Well, you do need a lot of more liquid if you talk a lot. That's the only thing I would say.
I better shut up then.
So when I'm training, I always find I need to drink more because I'm like talking. It does, apparently. It does dehydrate you. Right.
It's because you're losing moisture free now from the breath.
We all know about that in a COVID world, don't we? So
What's that?
that's that, yeah. Let's hope it's gone. Right.
Oh, I missed out on that.
So I will boil that pan again. Shall we talk about anything you want to talk about the dish that we're making, or stir fries in general? We'll make sort of 2 different types of stir fry. We'll make a very plain one that doesn't have the sweet and sour sauce in it. And do you like pineapple? Gentleman here, do you like pineapple?
You like pineapple?
Yes.
So you'll have it with pineapple in, you just don't want the sweet and sour taste. Okay. So a basic stir fry, you just need things like soy sauce, maybe some Chinese spices if you want to, garlic, ginger, and your vegetables.
What? How much ginger? Do you know the ginger?
That's about
Have you taken
2 inches of ginger.
Taken the skin.
In this case, I don't think we did, but it's fine. You don't need to.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter as long as it's
Wash it.
clean. If it looks like it needs a wash,
Yeah.
ideally you'd wash it.
So it's not necessary.
It's not absolutely necessary. You've got more fibre in the skin of things, haven't
it's
you?
like the skin's on potatoes. isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You know, but if it needs a scrub or if you need to chop it off because it doesn't look good.
But we used to grate it.
Yeah.
If you grate it, but it's
Yeah.
got the skin on anyway, so you still get a tiny bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Has anyone ever found a good garlic crusher? Because all my life always been a challenge to find a really good garlic crusher.
Hammer.
A hammer.
Bang.
Well, my colleagues, if I can borrow a knife back from over there. Is it Matthew?
I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Do you know how to bash? Thank you. Do you know how to bash the
Flat of the
the
knife.
flat of the knife on the back of your hand like that? That's it. You see that lady doing it over there as well. Push it down, and then it's taken the skin off the outside off. Makes it easier to take that outside off of the garlic. So everybody's okay with garlic, are they? Everybody's okay with garlic. See? Now I forgot to bring a bin, so I've got to bring a bin liner. Thank you. That's great. The chicken's cooking now. Yippee! It's only the vegetables that aren't cooking.
That's what it said.
Now there's probably. Will everybody like cashews in theirs? Is everybody going to be okay with cashews? Yeah, everyone's
I've got
okay.
some cashews and I don't really eat them. They're not salted.
They'll be flavoured in here.
Yeah, but they don't taste them.
Hi. Oh, you're a star. Thank you so much. That is brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, people want to bring their bowls up with the. Thank you so much. That's lovely. With their rubbish in.
I'm going to ask you about that.
If anybody fancies being a washer upper, I can use a bit of that. I think I might just save it and see if we need it. See how much liquid there is and everything.
Just send the recipe saves in the juice, don't it? Sorry.
Yeah, you put it on at the end. So thank you very much. Have these been used?
Yeah.
Put them there for now, and then I can do them at next year.
I forget that this
Twice a
is
week.
going
If
on.
you cook twice a week, you can cook enough, can't
Yeah,
you?
and I put them away for a couple of days. I
put
feel
it
like a
away.
couple of days, yeah.
And you don't
Well,
need
I'll
to
cook
kind
every
of
day,
get
can't I?
everything
Yeah.
out and shopping and cooking and
I always
all
freeze
the
them.
rest of
I always
it.
freeze them anyway.
Yeah. So absolutely.
All right.
I mean, nobody. Oh,
So
sorry, that's such a good idea.
bad.
Nobody wants
Yeah,
to cook
okay.
that. So I'm just getting the garlic ready. So I think that should go in with the vegetables now. I'm probably doing this in a completely different order to the recipe, but it doesn't matter. It's about everything being cooked. Cooked, isn't it? No, it's not cooking, is it? I might have to turn it off and turn it on again. That's what I usually need to do. It is hot, but it's not hot. Yeah, you do, don't you, for a stir fry? Absolutely. What I might do, these aren't the best. These are
Yeah.
a bit that way.
The message you sent me,
Eh?
the message you sent me,
It's not.
Message,
yes.
Everybody,
It shows that it's 100 and it's been reduced from 200 and something. It's gone down 89. It's now 169. And I thought, you know, I wanted to have, I wanted your.
so we're just waiting for things to cook.
I'm so on it.
Garlic I'm chopping and putting that in with our vegetables. Chopping it really finely. You can crush it.
I spent so much time in my kitchen. I could cook. I use it as a switch.
Yeah.
So that was like
Absolutely, yes.
It's how good it is.
So coming back to hydration, does anyone get 8 drinks a day then?
No.
No. Because one of the things that makes us feel tired, lacking in energy, is sometimes, or we feel hungry. We think we're hungry because sometimes when we think we're hungry, it could be that we're thirsty. And I met a couple of people yesterday on a training course where they said, I've never felt thirsty in my life. I've had to tell myself when to drink. I always feel hungry. So she said she used to be a lot heavier because she always used to eat when she felt that sensation. She thought it was hunger. And she still doesn't recognize it as thirst. She has to remind herself to drink. Yeah. So if people haven't had a drink, we've been here an hour, and you want to get a glass of water from the kitchen, please do.
Well, I was giving a little tip on
I don't have to remember.
pulmonary, this recently. You drink a cup of tea, you drink a glass of water at the same time.
Yes, I think that sounds excellent. So that's a really good tip. Sorry, down at the front. This gentleman, sorry, your name?
David.
David has just mentioned that he's been given some advice that when you drink a cup of tea, have a glass of water at the same time. So it could just be a small glass. I've got a glass of water here somewhere. There, that's a small glass. There. You can have that. Works as well when you're drinking your wine as well. Who likes wine?
I used to drink.
You can water wine down.
At the time, I used to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
At the same time, I would have a cup of tea going on.
So you had alcohol.
Alcohol too.
My mother used to do.
The only thing-
You need a tea with it.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know- I don't know alcohol in it.
The only
I've
thing
done
we-
it in 8 years.
the only thing we're going to say there with I'm going to put the garlic in here. 'Cause I missed out the garlic. Is that you're going to if tea's dehydrating and alcohol's dehydrating, even though there's obviously some liquid in it, yeah, the water's going to be a better option. So water is always the best option if you can drink it. Does anybody just not like water on its own? Do anybody struggle with just water?
Like the water out of the tap here.
No. You got a water filter, David? Because they're quite cheap in the supermarket. Once you've got one, you probably don't need another one, but you do have to buy the filters to go in the water filter.
Yeah.
Does anybody water filter their water? The water tastes strange, yeah. Because yeah, so either you can buy the bottled water, which has got all the minerals in it, which is good, or you can get a water filter. And a water filter's, I don't know, they're about £15, £20, something like that. Yeah, you've got one. Yeah. And no. And you know, it does make it taste a bit better. Because my parents, where they used to live in Bridlington, the water was shocking. They just moved now. Well, they moved a little while ago. And the water in Bridlington was absolutely horrible. You know, so they always had a water filter. But you know, it depends where you live sometimes, doesn't it? Really depends where you live as to what the water tastes like.
Scotland's got the best.
Oh yeah, not surprised. Right, so we've our veggies are trying to cook. As I say, this would take minutes on your if you've got a proper oven. What have you got in your accommodation here? What cooking facilities?
We've all got our
Your
own.
own. You all got your own.
Yeah.
But do you have a cooker? An actual cooker? Yeah. You know, this would
Keep
take
that
minutes.
again, so I can
So-
put it going on.
So we put the garlic in there.
One,
We put the garlic in there. So we
Right.
chopped it and put it in there, and that's about the only thing I think we've done since you've been away. So we've got garlic. Right, we're nearly there. The chicken's cooking well, but I'm just going to make sure it's cooked through. What do we need to do to make sure chicken's cooked through for those people who don't cook? What do we need to do to make
I usually chop
Yeah,
mine,
so it's not
cut
pink.
it. See what.
That's it. You can do. With these little slices, you probably don't need to. If you cook it very thin.
Some use a needle, don't they, with the temperature gauge on
You
it.
can use a temperature gauge. You can use those. But it's got to be, what's the temperature? It has to be, is it 17 degrees? 8? I've forgotten the temperature it needs to be. I need to go back to my,
89, I think.
something like that, isn't it? The temperature the meat needs to be if you were using a temperature. Anybody Google that for us?
Not quite sure.
So right, so that is the chicken's more or less cooked. I'm just gonna make sure it's cooked through. And the other thing, as I say, the hydration. Anything else you want to talk about with hydration? Does anybody drink just before they go to bed? Do they find that's helpful?
It makes you have to go to the toilet.
If you go to the loo in the night, you wake up and you might not be able to go back to sleep.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night, have a cup of tea.
You have a cup of tea at night, do you?
In the middle of the night, yeah.
In the middle of the night, you
Oh,
have a
yeah.
cup of tea.
I wake up about 4 or 5 times.
But that's your pattern.
It's terrible.
Does anyone have sugary drinks? Does anyone have drinks that have added sugar in? Because we're talking about sugar and 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. Does anyone have sugary drinks, not Lucasades or anything like that? Because they are very, very full of sugar. And you know the young people are really into these energy drinks. They are very full of sugar. Yeah,
There's
sugar,
got,
the energy drinks like Red
Oh,
Bull.
yeah. This new one that's come out called Prime.
Sorry, I can't hear.
A new one that come out called Prime.
Prime, is that a
Have
new?
you heard of it?
No, is that
It's
a
expensive, isn't it? That one
Is
was
it? I
18
don't know.
quid.
gosh, gosh.
No, they've got it in Lidl, £2.
Really?
In
No,
Easton,
not
isn't
good.
there today?
But that's supposed to be
£2.
energy drink.
There are all sorts. Obviously, people buy them or they wouldn't sell them, but
You
they're
haven't
not the
mentioned
best.
sweeteners.
So sweeteners, I was just going to come to
Oh,
sweeteners.
sorry.
It's all right. So some people like those kind of flavoured waters that have got different flavours in. Now, it
Yeah.
depends whether that's natural or not, as to whether it's healthy or not. Because if it's not natural, then if it's like aspartame or sucralose, an OSE, an OS, or those types of things, they tend to be, they're chemicals. They've been created, man-made. So are they going to be good for us?
That sporting's really bad, though, isn't it?
It can be. If you watch that film on YouTube called That Film About Aspartame,
Yeah.
you probably won't drink it again, or you'll very much limit it. So you know we get the slimline tonics and your Fanta Low and your Coke Zero.
Yeah, all
I
those.
think there are other brands, but you know these things that we drink, we think, oh well, they're lower calorie. One of the big issues is it still spikes our blood sugar. So when we drink that drink, although there's not the calories in from sugar because it's a chemical that's just sweet, our body doesn't know the difference, and it triggers insulin. So there's some studies have shown this. So it's worth bearing in mind when you drink your drink. So if you can't drink just water,
Do not drink.
then
Oh, mate,
herbal
do not-
teas.
If you're going to have a can of pot, don't drink the diet one. That's
No.
the full fat one.
Well, if you're gonna have a can of pot, try and get the ones that are like a flavoured, like a,
Yeah.
you know, a drink that is a fruit, you know, with natural fruit in it, or just sparkling water and add some lemon or lime.
Yeah.
That would be best. Right. I think some people are having their own lunch.
Can I do any more?
Pardon?
Can I do any more for you?
Oh, you're very kind. You could come and stir the veg if you want. Because I think what we need to do is start putting some of this together.
So do you put the two together?
Yeah, I think we do, don't we? Yes, I think we need to put half of the chicken into here. Moment of truth, folks. I'm going to put half with all the juice. Yeah, you do need a bit of juice, don't you? Then you all happy with cashews? Are you sure? Nobody's got. Has anybody not eaten nuts ever before or anything? Everybody's okay, right? Sure. Put that back. Stir. So now we're going to add. We're actually mixing everything together in our pan. The pans around like swap around. Just turn it on again. And I'm going to put the ginger in, half the ginger in that one.
Hey, well, you can.
And we wanted one that didn't have some sweet and sour, didn't we? Let's just.
I'll do put your garlic.
I'm going to make that one just the ginger and garlic. We've got the garlic, ginger, and soy sauce. So that one's going to be non-sweet sour, this one. I'm going to good amount of that one's going to be the don't need as much of this one. It won't be all that bad, but that will be the main thing. It's going to be too full if I do. Too full, okay? Is that too full or is it okay?
Sorry,
I know, sorry. I need to speak up. Is it okay? And then we're going to put most of the pineapple in there. Just put a tiny bit in there. We'll just put it all together, get our pineapple in there. Put our ginger in there. And for the one that's going to be the sweet and sour, could we listen, please? The one that's going to be the sweet and sour, we're going to get our sauce in there now. Da, da, da. That's it. Strong. Yeah. So when the vinegar, we're talking about the vinegar, when the vinegar starts to get hot, that's when you get that sort of sweet and sour stuff. There's some people over there that want some sweet and sour chicken. It usually we usually get extras. We're quite happy to feed the extras who are very helpful people. So right, so we've got this going. We need to do our noodles. So I'm just going to try and get this cooking a bit more. Is there a cooker in the kitchen? There a
Joy?
no cooker in that kitchen? That's fine. We'll survive with our two-ring hob that doesn't cook very fast. I'm going to get some new ones this year, especially for 2022. They don't. I need to get that water back onto one of these anyway. But if I put once this bit is cooked, isn't it? So what I might do is put the lid on that and then get the. So does anyone make noodles very often?
Yeah.
Is there a microwave in that kitchen?
There is.
And the rice then, can't we? Do the rice then. Swap them around. Well, it's always a bit more challenging when there's quite a few people. So somebody said it's not many people, but actually that one on there. Careful what. It's these over the not so great tower. It did boil before, so
You know, I haven't got it. I've only got one.
yeah. It works enough. You don't, yeah, it's smaller amounts, isn't it? I think the challenge is the amounts, isn't it? So I'm going to boil our water. Is it Michael or Matthew?
Sorry, carry on.
Then what we're doing with the water here is we're not putting salt in it. Why?
Sorry,
No, I'm not putting salt in the water. You can put some salt in the water, but how many people have to be on a low salt diet? Anybody here? If you want to share, you don't put salt in it. Someone went, oh, you won't taste that it hasn't got salt in it because it's going to be mixed with the sauce that's in the other food.
There might be salt in that sauce.
And there is salt. So soy sauce.
Yeah.
If you look at the traffic light system, you know the traffic light system on the side, green is good, amber's okay, and red is bad. There's lots of different things about these traffic light systems depending on how much they're talking about that they're measuring. But basically, salt here is in red. So there's a lot of salt in these.
really? Oh.
Yeah, so that's just to watch out for, because even if you haven't got a heart condition and you've got to be on low salt, then you know it's still we're always having too much salt in our diets because processed foods have salt in it. You know, I'm going to sound really boring soon, aren't I, about processed foods?
I think processed foods are the worst.
Meanwhile, I'm
thing
sure
for you.
my son will be at McDonald's. Pardon?
Processed foods are the worst thing for you.
Processed.
It's like soya. Soya bean sounds brilliant, but when you put it through process,
It's processed.
it's that.
The odd meal that's processed isn't going to kill you. It's just about over time, if what you're eating is a ready meal, a packet of crisps, packet of peanuts that's got salt in it, then you're putting a lot of salt in your pasta, then you're putting salt on top of your dish that you've made. You know, it all adds up, doesn't it? It
You
all
can buy a
adds
lot
up.
of processed meals, that's ready meals.
Yeah.
They don't have any red in at all.
Yeah.
They're all green and amber.
They're all good. Absolutely, you can. The only thing with processed foods is it has been changed,
Oh.
and I think that's the thing, David. It's like it's been chemically changed. You can get a decent ready meal from some places. You can, you know, and they have looked at salt, the fat, and the sugar content. But the reason they put salt and fat and sugar into these things is because it makes it taste nice and it makes us want more of it. But this is the way to make a stir fry without all that sugar. Because I wanted to show you something else that you could use in your stir fry, which is a bit on the this is a bit on the naughty step as far as
Oh, that's
sugar
lovely.
goes, because again,
Because they're full of
it's
sugar.
got a lot of salt and a lot of sugar.
But they
But
love
the only thing I would say is that's per tablespoon of that's got 5.9 grams of sugar.
It's a lot
Yes,
for a tablespoon.
that's like it's like how many teaspoons of sugar? It's about 3 teaspoons of sugar. Thank you. But the thing is, you'd probably use 1 tablespoon of that for the whole of that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's another way of looking at it, because all of that's going to feed 6 people.
yes.
Yeah.
So
a little bit of that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah, but I haven't put that with this because we don't need it, because we've just made that lovely sauce. But say you wanted to be quick and you wanted to have your stir fry things in,
Yes.
some garlic, some ginger, some chilli if you like it. You don't have to put the chilli in. And that's it. Bob's your best mate. As far as making.
Never heard of it. Bob's your best mate.
Yeah. Bob's your uncle.
Eh?
You like your salt?
Yeah.
So do I.
You can get low salt, can't you?
Sea salt.
Friend is your auntie.
Yeah, low salt you can get.
Sea salt.
Sea salt. Sea salt's just a set. It's got more minerals in it that's good for you, but it's still, it's still salt. That's it. It's not low salt, is it? It's not. It's going to be ready in a minute, guys. It's going to be ready in a minute.
Oh,
You want some?
too busy, thank you, Doc.
Hey, coming for dinner?
They'll be,
Coming for dinner?
they'll be back. They'll be back.
Give them your portion, they give them mine.
Right.
Take it out mine. Yeah.
Sorry, we've got
I was thinking-
workmen in with their
I agree with
Sim.
you.
I think it would.
being interested in the food. So we're nearly there with the cooking. Has anyone got any questions?
Yes,
Yeah.
nice little thing here, like ingredients, how to do it.
Hmm.
It's supposed to serve 4.
Yes.
How much would that cost you for 4?
Right. Now, the reason we didn't put, I'm going to go in a roundabout way to answer your question. The reason we didn't put the
Right.
prices of food on our website, cooking-good.co.uk, for some good recipes, is because, thank you,
What's
My
going on?
because prices change, and because if you've already got all these spices in, you only buy them once, don't you? Very much. You only buy them once, and these last a long time. Thank
Yes.
you.
And
So-
that reduce your unit cost.
So it reduces your unit cost. But the chicken was quite expensive because that's gone up in price. So I think that from Aldi for a whole pack of those chicken thighs was £4 something. If you used half that amount, that's £2, isn't it? £2.10 plus your peppers, about 79p for your peppers. That's £3. An onions have gone up in price, haven't they?
30p.
30p, £2.30, and then these, if you've already got them, it's £2.30 plus a little bit of these, a bit of garlic. Again, you wouldn't use. I'm not using all the garlic there. You don't have to use the mushrooms. You don't have to use the sweet corn. I'm just showing you different things you can put into your stir fry. Whatever you've got in, you put carrot in. You can grate carrot, slice it, shred it. I mean, carrot. And that would be. I think you could do a whole dish for £3.
Yes.
I mean, the noodles. Anybody know how much noodles are? Because I bought them today, but I just can't keep figures in my head. They're about £1.20, something like that, maybe a little bit more.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's always defeated me. You know, when they say a garlic prawn,
Yeah,
do they just mean one segment or the whole
Right.
bunch?
that's a bulb.
That's a bulb, yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit. is a clove, yes.
That's a clove.
That's a
That's
clove.
a
So
clove.
when they say 3 cloves of garlic, they mean 3 of them. But of course they're different sizes, aren't they? But that's roughly what they mean.
Like baked beans, they're not the same.
No? Somebody takes a lot of interest in their baked beans.
It's all I eat,
All you eat baked beans.
literally all I eat.
How many different types of fruit and vegetables do you think you need to eat every week to have a good, healthy diet? At a guess.
Spinach.
How many?
Uh,
So the government came up with 5 a day because they didn't think 7 to 9 would be possible
They
for
only
people
cut
to
that
face.
figure because they thought that we wouldn't accept it.
That we wouldn't accept it.
In Denmark, it's like 9.
Yeah, and in Finland, Japan is 13,
Yeah.
and there's different countries where it's a
Yeah.
lot of different, and they are healthier. They are healthier. So, but when we say different types of foods, we mean anything. It could be your spices. So you know your mixed herbs. You've got like 4 or 5 spices in your mixed herbs. That's 5 different things in your mixed spice. This is chili. That's one thing in there. You need about 50 different types of food per week for your gut microbiome to have the diversity that it needs, to have the
Really?
range that it needs.
Way low, way low.
And
sure.
Eat the
it's
same thing every day.
some people do, and sometimes that's convenience.
It's laziness. Truth is, it's laziness. I can't be bothered.
Well, that's what we're here for, to
It's being bothered.
show you
That's
how
the truth.
these things.
Now, I read an article where they said that porridge oats is
Yeah,
about the best you can get.
porridge oats is about the best. Yeah. Well, porridge oats are better for you than other breakfast cereals, because they have a soluble fibre, and when they're cooked, they have a resistant starch, which means it takes you longer to break them down, so it's less bad for you, for that insulin roller coaster, spiking your blood sugar. That's why oats, because it's slower to burn it off with the oats, yeah. But still, just oats on their own are still quite, for some people, they will spike their blood sugar too much. But I don't know, this is a weird one, and I just say, try it, see what you think. But you can have an egg with your porridge. I know, I was just talking to a diabetic the other day, who's a father of my sister-in-law, and he says, oh, I have egg with my porridge. I said, yeah, so do I. It's like a bit of a weird conversation, but actually cook it in the middle. So cook your porridge the way you normally would, with your water or your milk alternative in your pan. Cinnamon's usually good because cinnamon's sweet. So if you don't want to put sugar in things, cinnamon is sweet. Cinnamon in porridge, but you don't have to cinnamon. Make a little hole. I know it'll come back in, it'll sink in like sand, quicksand, but get your egg in there in the middle and then cook it. Or you can cook your egg first. You can't taste it. You can't taste the egg in your porridge. Yeah. And what you're doing then is you're adding protein to your porridge, but make sure it's properly cooked because you don't want a raw egg. Yeah, make sure it's been cooked through a couple of minutes. And that's the way. And porridge is so quick. I usually make so much that I end up putting half in the fridge, and then I've got half for the next day that I just warm up in a microwave. Anybody got any other top tips? Top tips for
Well, I put frozen
blood sugar balance?
frozen fruits in
Yeah.
into my porridge.
Frozen fruits.
I get
lovely.
it from Aldi.
Yes,
Get
the summer
1
fruits. and
kilo, $2.99
all the berries.
of the berries.
Yeah, they got loads of good nutrients in them, haven't they? Lots of vitamin C, which we need this time of year to stay healthy. Finally, this water is boiling. Is it not starving now? It's been sat here quietly for ages. Does it smell good? It smell all right. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in these recipes, but I'm not going to put the salt in there because I think it's probably more people than not that don't need salt in their diet. So, half of one of these per person.
Are you doing right?
Do you want rice?
Yes, I'd rather have rice.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to do quite a bit of noodles for all the people who want noodles. And then I'm going to, while that's boiling, can somebody time me 4 minutes? Anybody time me 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Anyone got a good, lovely. Somebody's going to do that. I'm going to take the rice and go and ping that in the microwave. The bowl. More bowl. I want much one now. These out.
About time.
These 3 minutes.
About
that's 4
time.
minutes.
Good. Take your pants on.
Sorry.
Take your pants on.
I want to balloon.
Keep us soon.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Abbey yesterday and they've got very little in the way of ready-made foods. Aldi. No, I didn't go to Aldi. I went to Lulu.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised.
She ran off.
So I will go to,
Oh, right, yeah, of course you did that. That's why I didn't mind it.
I'm improvising here. I just thought about.
That's a good idea, heat rises.
Being left-handed, you see, it helps you to think out of the box. Right. So, any other questions about vegetables, or are there things that are you good at having that range of vegetables? Because we talk about eating a rainbow, eating every colour of the rainbow every day. Baked beans only covers one, I'm afraid.
It's my favourite colour though, orange.
Orange.
Is there any veg that's not quite good for you? You know, diabetically.
Diabetic, but I think it's all about your overall balance, isn't it? Because a tomato is technically a fruit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's slightly more carbohydraty than and you know, with sugars like fructose and you know sugars in it than say you know these kinds of vegetables. Things that grow above the ground are going to be, they're quite carby, aren't they? Think root vegetables and all your shards and your onions and your celery and your leeks and your lettuces and celeriac and kale and all the brassicas, yeah. Brassicas being the cauliflower and broccoli, yeah. These are going to be better for diabetics because they don't have so much of the carbohydrate in them. But things that have a lot of carbohydrate are, and a mushroom is in between, isn't it? The sweet corn, the big one, not these little baby ones, imagine that 10 times bigger. Those are quite carbohydraty. But you know, a small amount.
It's a wasted vegetable really, because the sedge you throw away.
True. Can't do any. I don't know. Can you do anything with the centre of a sweet corn?
Because it's just
Lag walls with it? I don't know.
probably, yeah.
You know, maybe something like that. Right.
Insulate your lawn.
Insulate your lawn. How are we doing on time? For
About 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Thank you, folks. 10.
she
Brilliant.
should have been there because
4
she
minutes,
eats,
4 minutes.
she does
right.
it right. She
She
cooks proper every day.
That way. It literally just got 2 minutes. Follow
You
it.
know,
That's it. Right. I'm going to take that through to the kitchen. So careful, folks, with any. I'm coming past with a hot pan. So we're going to drain those now and then get our big pan back on there. Can you take that one off? Yeah, can you lift that? You sure it's heavy? Get that back off. You just spit, don't they? Yes. So we're going to take that. Actually, you can drain it here. Can you manage? You're a star. Thank you. Brilliant. Star. I've never heard that one before. Right. Brilliant. So actually, yeah, a lot of water there, isn't there? So that's our. You can add a little bit of soy sauce to your noodles if you want to, or a little bit of sesame oil. That gives it a bit of flavour if you're worried about the salt. Now just bear in mind the people who want salt. Here, I'm going to put a little bit. Is everyone okay with a little bit of salt? I'm going to put the salt in the. Don't need salt in the soy sauce one. Maybe just a teeny bit in this one. Needs it, but we put a teeny bit in. Does everyone like black pepper?
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't we put a little bit of these in because I think they just give it a little bit of flavour. We've just got to get these boiling again while I go and get the rice. Must get the chicken boiling. Got to be up to temperature. If it's not, I can bung these in the microwave in a bowl. Right. So I think we're nearly there. I'm just going to plate one up for the camera and then we'll get eating hours and let Norfolk House go. So I'm just going to plate one up so you can see that. Where are those little bowls? Hiding behind my laptop. Thank you. I just going to show Norfolk House very studiously stayed online. Chicken. Does this look doable? So I'm just going to give this one to the camera and then probably, could you get the rice from the microwave for me? It's in a bowl and it should be just ready to come out.
I can't do it.
Thank you. It would be amazing.
Maybe one thing at a time. Breathing is important to me.
Right, I'm just gonna. That looks like it might have stuck. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of oil with the noodles because what they tend to do is they tend to stick if you don't serve them straight away. If you put a tiny bit of oil with them, then they don't stick. Okay, I'm just going to show this to Norfolk House and then we'll turn the camera off and get stuck in and start eating, shall we? So Norfolk House, this is our end result. Does it smell nice? Right, we're going to let you go because you've been online for quite a long time. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.